table number 3, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be doing 2 things. You are going to be doing a pinch pot out of Play-Doh. But before that, I'm going to have you just practice doing what's called wedging. For those of you that were in 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade last year, it's something that I had all the classes start with. It's just preparing the clay to make sure that we're getting as much of the air bubbles out of the clay as we can, so that way when we do go to fire it and put it into the kiln, which is just a large oven, we don't have to worry about the clay exploding. I will be showing you guys a video when we talk more about the kiln. So we're going to start off by wedging the clay. So with your Play-Doh, for this one, you're probably going to want 2 handfuls so that you have close to a baseball size amount of Play-Doh or clay. Ball it up nice. So with wedging, for me, I find it easiest if it is in a ball. I know in the past we've watched videos where they've turned it into a square cube. The problem with that is I feel like it takes more time just to make the cube than it's actually doing us any good. So the purpose of wedging is this clay is just coming out of the bag or the tub or whatever it comes in, and it hasn't been worked with yet. So if we were to cut this in half or cut our clay in half and look at it, we're going to see a whole bunch of air bubbles, and air bubbles are no good to us because they'll fill up with air when it's baking in the kiln, and those bubbles can go ahead and they can burst and ruin your project along with other people's projects. So it's always a great idea to wedge your clay. We're going to be practicing with Play-Doh, so I'm going to guess it's going to be a little bit more crumbly as there's less water inside of Play-Doh as there is clay, but we're going to work with what we got and just practice for the day. So with your baseball size ball, what you are going to do is it's best if you're standing up. I know you can't see me, but I'm standing. It's better for leverage. And what you're going to do is with the bottom of your thumb, you want to push the clay down and forward so that you create these 2 divots from your 2 thumbs. So we're pushing the clay down and we're pushing it forward. So we're pushing those bubbles down and together and sealing them out. Okay. From here, you want to lift the clay up so that it's standing, and you want to go ahead and repeat by pushing down and then forward. And then you're going to repeat down and then forward. Now what I like to do is, as I'm pushing down, I like to cup my pinkies inward to keep more of a ball shape. Otherwise what will happen is your clay is just going to keep getting wider and wider, and it's going to get harder and harder to work with. They call this the ram's head because what you'll see is you'll start getting a coil like the horns of a ram as you repeat. So you'll flip it up towards you, and then you're pushing down, forward, up towards you, down, forward, up towards you, down, forward. I would do this about 5 times for the Play-Doh just because it's so crumbly. And then once you've done that, you can go ahead, you can ball it up. And again, what we've done is we just got the clay ready to be used and more importantly fired, so we don't have to worry about it exploding in the kiln. So the second thing that you're going to do is you're just going to make 2 pinch pots, and we're going to go ahead and just put them together. So you can take your ball and you can just split it into 2, and you want to go ahead with your hands and you want to roll it into a sphere, into a ball, And you can go ahead and do that with your second one as well. If any of the Play-Doh is starting to fall apart, you can just go ahead, pick it up. But again, we want to go ahead and just make two cylinders, two balls that are similar in size. So pinch is the easiest of the techniques that we learn in elementary, and it's usually something that we introduce to kindergartners right away. So for those of you that are in kindergarten, here you go. For those of you that we did not do this in kindergarten, this is something that should have been taught to you when you were in kindergarten. So pinching the clay is pretty simple. We want to take our thumb and we just want to push it in to create a hole, and we are just going to pinch our thumb and the rest of our fingers together to start creating a little pinch pot. So the idea here is that we're just pinching the clay to form it in shapes that we want to. We don't need to make any coils. We don't need to use any rollers to roll it out. It's simply just a method of using our hands and creating something by just pinching the clay or our Play-Doh together. So really basic, really simple. Don't worry about the cracking. Like I said, your regular clay next week will not do this, but it's good practice. Grab the other one again, push your thumb in, and then you just want to go around either clockwise or counterclockwise, and you're just pinching your thumb in between your middle index and pointer finger. And your goal for these 12 minutes would be to try and make sure that the thickness of your little pot is the same on the left, right, top, bottom, and also down towards the bottom. Again, clay is really sensitive to heat, just like it's sensitive for cooking. It's really important that the clay is drying at the same time, and the best way to do that is to make sure that your clay or your Play-Doh is the same thickness. Once you've made two, you can go ahead and you can smash them back together. You can go ahead and clean up any Play-Doh that has fallen off, and you can go ahead and repeat. Wedge it 5 times, break it into 2 smaller balls, make 2 small pinch pots, and then just keep repeating for 12 minutes. After your 12 minutes is done, we'll get you to the next table to do coil and slab. Good luck.